those big ideas you have, if you have one or two things that you put in a little hook, a little foreshadow, a little Easter egg, a little teaser of what's to come, more than enough. The important thing is that everybody has fun in that first session, I think. First time DMing, you were wondering how much you should prep for your campaign/first session. Any tips? It's a really good question, and it's something to, as you continue to DM, hopefully you love it and you keep doing it because it's super fun. It's something to keep in mind because it's something that you want to keep analyzing as you go. Hard to screw it up your first time in. The devil's going to be in the iteration you go through and like the next session. I think I tend to approach planning in two different kind of big buckets. And you can see this on my usually every couple days I do some planning kind of live on stream here. And the two types of planning that I do are sort of big ideas like outlines or kind of hobbled together things I'd like to try to do, and then the actual session prep. And I guess if you want to call that mess of big ideas a campaign prep, you could. But for the most part, all that I really ever truly prep is the next session. And I think that that's kind of all that really matters. That's kind of all that really matters in for the game. You can almost think about the table and the game as a stage production, like a stage in theater. You've got, stage right, stage left. You've got beyond the wings. You've got stuff behind, like they have the different, what are they called, like the placards or the different backgrounds that drop down behind the curtain. If it's not on stage, if it's not at the table, if the players aren't engaging with it, it's really not real. It's not real in the same way that the stuff on the table is. So I would spend whatever time you can afford to on what's going to be on stage. And to the extent that you need to do a little bit behind the scenes work to make that on stage stuff feel better, sure. I do that too, right? That's every DM will. But my advice is not to spend so much time behind the stage, so much time, out of view, working on things that maybe nobody will ever see. They're dungeon masters that are more into the world building stuff. You'll hear people say, I spent 2 years working on my world before the campaign even began. And hey, more power to them. That just doesn't appeal to me as a fun thing to do. So I'd much rather put that time into like, okay, what are the things that I'm going to want kind of at my fingertips for the session? And for that, especially for a first session, you can be a little bit more, for the first session of your campaign, I think it's generally good to put the party in a situation where they're reacting. You want to have things sort of happening to them and a situation unfolding around them that sort of encourages and gives them lots of opportunities to react, right? Whether that's, danger or whether that's a call for heroes. It can be fun. That's why it's sometimes fun to start a campaign, to start any session right into initiative, right? That gives everybody clear, concise, set way to go. Everybody knows what to do. Everybody knows how to act. And that's how I do my first session still. I'm largely sort of setting a scene and creating an environment for the party to react to. I'm having characters directly ask them questions and engage with them. I'm putting them in the midst of an existing scene. It is a lot more work for the dungeon master, but what it avoids is that horrible feeling in the first session where people aren't really comfortable in their characters yet. People aren't really sure what to do. So if you give them more in that first session, I feel like you can sort of ease up on that as they get more experience at the table and you start to give them more options. You don't have to sort of work so hard. I actually think that first session is probably I don't want to say the only thing you should worry yourself with or like focus on, but I would say like it's like 80-20, 90-10 in favor of put the time into the session that it's going to be. Because really, big campaign plans, who knows how long any game's going to go on, right? You can almost think of your first session at the table like a one shot. What is this experience and how's it going to get people excited and coming back? Those big ideas you have, you know, if you have one or two things that you put in a little hook, a little foreshadow, a little Easter egg, a little teaser of what's to come, more than enough. The important thing is that everybody has fun in that first session, I think. Of course. Love the question. Thanks for asking. Anytime. And if you have any specifics as you're sort of planning things out as a new DM, I'm happy to help. And I know lots of people probably on the Discord and in the community here would be happy to help too. We've all been there. Some of us are currently there. What to do when you misread the rules? Well, you know, whatever happens can be corrected, right? If there's some misreading, I think the first thing I'm always going to think of is this something that I can recover without anybody else noticing? Is it critical? Is it and then, you know, at the end of the day, it's a social game. So if we need to say, hey guys, so I got this wrong, or we got this wrong, or honestly, stuff's missed all the time. I forget that monsters that I'm controlling were supposed to have disadvantage this next round. You know, players forget that they used their reaction and I forgot to remind them, or that they needed to roll for concentration checks against there's so much stuff that gets missed all the time. I think you just roll with it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And then you just hope that it's not going to happen at a critical moment that makes everything like the worst thing I will do just about anything to avoid like, okay, let's roll it back and do that again. I hate that. I hate because I'm always aiming for like what feels real, and you don't get to roll things back. You know, I'd much rather just try to get everybody to, you know, accept that was just a weird quirk of that time, and then we try to do better going forward. That would be my preference most of the time. It was until one of my players decided to be a good aunt and agreed to some, you know, obligation, blah, blah, blah. No big deal. It's not like I just spent 6 hours planning their next session, right? That's how it goes. But hey, you know what? I'm ready a week ahead of time now. I know, completely unforgettable. I think it's why I defaulted to like, well, I can edit some stuff. Because I'm like, wait, I wasn't even in the mindset to go like, okay, now I'm going to get back into crafting. I think I should be able to get back into crafting tomorrow, which will be great. But I'm like, what can I do with my time when I'm... It's like it's not the same as burnout, but it's like a creative, like there's no resolution to this creative high, and it's like, okay, all right, well then, what do I do now? How do I stay productive? I'll just pivot and play with my toys.